you think you're going to go with the same five starting as you did for the exhibition?
I mean, as of now, I mean, I don't really see any reasons to change. We'll see how practice goes today, and I've never been a huge, have to solidify a starting five guys because it takes more than five guys to win. So, yeah, I mean, as of now, last time out it went okay, so it seems like it was practicing okay, but and then the guys coming in the game have really contributed as well. So, it all seems to be going that right direction.
How did the three guys with Kerr, Ben, and Dalen, how did those guys work together on the perimeter?
Kerr, Ben, and Dalen?
Yeah, just like what have you seen out of them that makes them?
Well, I mean, it's, each guy stepping into a new role this year. And, and obviously Kerr's handling a lot of the primary ball handling. But the way we play, we're asking those other guys to handle the ball, and Dalen, has handled the ball some in the past, but, he's really grown and has shown that, he's, kind of adapting and developing the skills to kind of become a decision maker. And Ben, hasn't been much of a ball handler in the past, and there's been some growing pains getting him there, but he seems to be moving in the right direction, and we're gonna continue to try to push him in that direction because I think that's what he needs to be, to maximize his potential, is become a better ball handler, decision maker.
Is Pella going to play, and if so, how much?
I mean, he's practiced a little bit the last couple of days. I mean, obviously it's a a day-to-day thing at this point, nothing crazy. Just he's on a little bit of a time limitation, and we're playing the long game with it. So I mean, I would expect him to play. I don't know exactly what that looks like yet, minutes wise. I mean, he's still getting back in practice. It's not like he stepped back in practice and he's 120% the player he was last year at this point. So he's still kind of working his way back on all facets. I mean, physically, skill-wise, timing-wise, all those things are taking a little bit of time.
Does he have any setbacks when you brought him in and then there's soreness and you have to lay off for a while?
I mean, nothing specific. No.
Top of the list of what you want to accomplish over these first few non-conference games?
Well, for me, it's just, establishing the standard, we want to play with effort, intelligence, and just, the style of play that, that we think we need to be successful. I don't have specific, statistical goals at this point that are worth sharing. You know what I mean? We have some that are always on my mind. But more than anything, I'm just kind of, it's more of a big picture approach. We've spent 6 months, trying to, play the way we want to play, develop the style of play, and develop the players to play that way. And, you can't expect it to be perfect on day one, and you got to have a little bit of patience as it plays out a little bit, because, it's what's funny about, young players in college basketball. I mean, you can have this ideal that you want to achieve, and you work really hard to get there, and then you need games to test that, and to really to show where you're at, and and a lot of times you're short of where you want to be, but the games give you an opportunity to really solidify learning and establish and build habits. So that's what I'm excited for these games, is just to kind of solidify the way we want to play. And I thought we took a step last week, but this is a whole different animal this week, and then the game's coming up.
How did it? Are you your scrimmage and then your exhibition game? I mean, were you okay with where?
Yeah, I was happy with the progress we made, and I think we've had a good week of practice, tightening things up. But whether we take that next step or not remains to be seen.
There's a sense, I guess, that, from the fans as well as people in this room just watching the early part of the exhibition game, that this is going to be obviously a whole totally different style, a much more fun team to watch. Do you get a sense from everybody, or have you gotten much feedback that you're just bringing something new that people here haven't seen in a while?
Well, I mean, I think fun's a very relative term when it comes to basketball. You'd have to define what you think fun is, or what the general fans think fun are. I mean, a lot of people love defensive battles, and for me, I don't particularly play this style of play because I think it's fun. I think it's effective, and to me, I'm just going to hone in on, what are the things that I think impact winning, and that's where my focus is going to be. With regards to style of play, I mean, obviously, I'm comfortable playing fast as long as it's layered with fundamentals. If we're playing fast and shooting bad shots and throwing the ball over the court, I don't think that's effective. So, so that's it. I mean, for me, it's not like, I'm not chasing a style of play because it's fun. I'm chasing it because I think it's effective and I think it's a good way to win. So that's my approach. So as far as the outside noise, you guys probably know I'm not really on. My ear's not on the road listening to the outside noise. I'm just trying to work from within and with our staff and our players and stay locked into that. And the outside noise, I mean, I'll leave for you guys to hear what's going on.
Tommy, can you talk about NAU, what you've seen of them in the film and what they're going to throw at you?
Yeah, I mean, NAU's, it's a solid program, I mean, Coach Burkhardt, obviously he's just gotten the job, recently, and he's, kind of probably settled in now. And I think they have, like a lot of people, they're taking some transfers, and so I think they're probably really excited about the direction they're going to go. I mean, they got, the point guard, and, Cone, this kid from Virginia Tech, who scored like almost 10 points a game at Virginia Tech. And he's an aggressive player, and he's going to come in, and he's probably going to have tons of freedom, and those guys can be dangerous to play against. And then you throw out a skilled big, like Nick Mange, Jordan's brother, and those guys present problems. Their size and they're skilled. So, yeah, I mean, from that aspect, but that's really good. I mean, I'm glad we're playing a team that has those things, because those are the questions that we need to answer. To see what type of season we can have is, how do we play against guys like that?
I think NAU, they've extended this through 2030 or something. I mean, you probably play them every year in the opener, or what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I know we play them tomorrow. And I know there's a long-term schedule. I couldn't tell you how many years it's for. We inherited a lot of things with this schedule, which was a good thing. I mean, when you take over a new job, you got enough things to worry about. And, and Ryan Reynolds and Sean had left kind of a good template of a schedule. And then, a lot of these things got pushed back because of COVID. So to be honest with you, there wasn't much to do with the schedule. We kind of inherited it. And I was happy we inherited it because, it's a lot of work to schedule. And so, yeah, I mean, I know we have them going out for an extended period of time.
Personal note, is any part of you like, this is it, this is my first game as a head coach, I'm excited, nervous, do you have any of that going on?
I mean, I've been approaching it like that, maybe the last couple weeks, from the first scrimmage to the first exhibition game. This is the first real game, I guess. I'm not approaching it any different, I mean, we're going to have a good practice today, try to make sure we're organized, guys know the game plan, and make sure that we're comfortable with our plan A's and our plan B's, and we're going to go out and we're going to try to execute it. And I've never been a guy that's gotten too nervous about games or this or that. I mean, Nate could probably tell him, I think the game's at 8:30 tomorrow. So for me, I've never found any benefit to get nervous. Like, it's at 8:30. So if I'm nervous, why would I want to drive myself crazy for 36 hours? I mean, I'm excited and we'll be prepared, but, I love games on any game day. So, I mean, games are a big reason why you do these jobs. So I'm excited to go out and see where our guys are at, and, wherever we're at, we'll attack where we need to go moving forward.
Gotten any messages, friends, family, coaching, peers, wishing you good luck going into this? I mean,
what's funny about that? It's not really, because right now I think it's the old deal in coaching. Everybody has their own problems they're dealing with. So I don't think guys are. I haven't had a lot of. I think my coaching friends are probably worried about what they have going tomorrow, and which is all right.
The period of elite teams playing home and home against one another is done?
I hope not. I mean, I know, I'm working on some things behind the scenes for sure. And to be honest with you, I think home and homes are great, and I think some of those neutral site games can be great for the game, but again, I got to wrap my head around everything here, and we got to do what's best for Arizona basketball, and I think there's. It really puts you on a big stage to play in some of those great home and homes, or, in an elite neutral site game. So that would definitely be something that's, on top of my scheduling agenda moving forward. But you can have, all these, your own thoughts and wishes, but you have to get others to comply with them, and that's just not that easy. So.
You have any pregame rituals or superstitions game day that you do?
make my half quarter. I mean, that's it. No, I don't have any. Like, no, nothing crazy. Just because I've always just felt like, if you get real regimented and ritualistic, like, what happens when that ritual doesn't go right or is not available, or you get in a fender bender on the way to the game? You know what I mean? Like, so, no, I mean, I just like to relax on game days and, kind of clear my mind and, and work with the staff on what we want to do that night, what we want to accomplish, I mean, do we have plans for different scenarios that pop up over the course of the game? So no crazy rituals.
Are you going suit or casual?
I'm going casual, but I mean, I need what do they call him, Emoy, right? I don't know if he's Emoy right now because we don't have any long-sleeved pullovers. So like he could be, Brian Brigger, our equipment manager. So I feel like I'm going to be coaching naked because I'm going to be coaching in a polo tomorrow. So like I prefer to like have a long sleeve deal because sometimes it gets a little cold down on the bench.
I think Eloy is a perennial title he has.
Yeah, well, I mean, he might. You know what? He might have to fight to get it back because right now we're a little light in the equipment.
So you would prefer a long sleeve shirt and are you?
I just like these types of things. Just these little quarter zip Nike deals. I would be, if I had my druthers, that's what I'll do every time.
It's interesting. It seemed like during COVID last year, coaches went more casual, and you wondered, is that going to stick now that things are kind of back to normal? You plan to go casual?
Yeah, I do. I do. I mean, I've always wondered why we wore suits, but, you didn't want to be that guy standing out. So now that it's a little more acceptable, so, yep.
Do you plan on going in your rotation for this first game?
How deep? I'd like to get everybody in, at some point, those top, 10 or 11 guys. We'll have to see how the game plays out, I mean, there's lots of things that factor into that, but I would like to see everybody, they've all worked hard and I think they can all contribute. And I think it's important, early in the year that, you give guys opportunities, to have a successful moment, to make a mistake, because those are great things to learn from. And, and I think it's, you don't want to, these kids work really hard and you want to make sure that they're bought in and you're not crushing their spirit on day one, sometimes. So, we'll see how it goes. And I'll definitely, to some of the guys that may not play as much, I'll pull them aside and talk to them. So, and I've already had those conversations. So guys know where they stand. But you also, it's the cliche, but you're one play away, from needing some of these guys. So I feel good that if the opportunity presented itself, they could all have success in some sort of role this year. I do feel good about that.
What's the chance that George gets to match up with his brother?
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. That would be good. I hadn't thought of that. That would be a good one. Maybe they couldn't guard each other. Maybe it'd be like a fist fight out there or something.
What's your on another topic? You've talked about recruiting a bunch and your philosophy, but I was just wondering with the signing period coming up, looks like you're going to get one guy. Do you expect? What do you expect out of that, and what do you expect it to next spring to be like as far as your?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think you guys have witnessed. I mean, the college basketball in the recruiting deal has changed immensely the last 2 years. It's continuing to evolve. I mean, you're looking at teams now, and it's the team we play, tomorrow, the teams we play upcoming, these teams, and us included, you're able to get transfers that are able to play right away. That's never happened before on a whole. I mean, it used to have to be a grad transfer or some sort of exception. So it's changed. So, I think you need to be opportunistic in this day and age. I really like the young core of this team. I mean, I really believe in it and moving forward, and I really believe in it long term. Now, it's going to play out, and we'll see how it goes, to moving forward. But I think there's enough pieces on this team right now to have a great nucleus for a couple years. I mean, to be a really, really good team. And, that I'm not making any promises this year, but when you look at, how guys have developed so far, the direction I think they're going, the age they are in their careers, I feel really, really good about where we're at. So, what I don't want to do is get greedy and, bring in some things that might, mess up where we're at in our chemistry, so I want to be really conscientious about the pieces we're adding. And there's always things going on in recruiting, maybe more than that's known out publicly. And I sleep pretty good at night for the most part. I mean, that doesn't mean I don't understand how good recruiting is, but I think you have to be comfortable with your plan and how it's going to play out. And I do feel pretty good about it.
I wonder about with your numbers. I mean, on paper, Justin, I think, is the only one who will be out of eligibility. So you could recruit, theoretically return just about everybody. I mean, that never works out quite that way. But I wonder, do you kind of think, well, hey, we might only lose a handful of guys. I better be careful here. Is that part of it?
Well, I mean, you don't know how many, you might not lose hardly anybody. So yeah, for sure. And I'm not in the business of, cutting guys before they've played a game. So, I want to see how it plays out a little bit. And, I mean, there's also, the NCAA issues that are still lingering. And so there's lots of things that factor into recruiting than just what makes people feel good right now. And like I've always thought, I want this program to be solidified and locked and loaded. And when the runway's clear for us to take off, I want to be ready to take off. I mean, so that's been my mindset the whole time. I haven't been sitting here worrying about, what happened yesterday or what's going on right at this second. I've always tried to have, be forward thinking with it. And so I feel good where we're at. I really do.
In the time that you've been here and you've kind of come to understand the legacy of Lloyd Olson a little bit more, are there things that you can take away from that can help you as you begin this era of your legacy?
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things, if you went and listed it and laid them out, but, just how he embraced the community, the relationships he had with his players, are I think, great examples for a young coach. And, those are things that, I don't mind doing. So, but I'm going to be who I am. I'm not going to try to be somebody else. And I think what's really cool about this place is I think eventually, it's a big enough place and a great enough place that can have lots of legacies, and not just one guy. And, I think, Lute's obviously had an amazing legacy. I think Sean, when we really drill it back someday, people are going to realize he's going to have a great legacy here, and I'm hoping to follow both of those guys and do the same.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.